Oh, that feels lovely.
Oh, ahoy there, mates. Welcome to the VHS pirate ship. I'm just doing a little spring cleaning around here. And you know what's funny? I actually found some VHS that I forgot I had. I have some VHS that are based on musicals and plays. Now, it's strange that I have these because I really don't like musicals or plays. But I suppose the reason I got them is they were $1 each, and you certainly just don't find these every day. So I just had to have them. Hey, Paul the Skull, you remember that time you and I did Shakespeare in the Park?
No, I don't. We never did that.
Sure, you remember. We did Hamlet.
I have no bloomin' memory of that.
You played Yorick.
Why the bloody hell would I play Yorick?
What other part is there for a skull?
This didn't happen. I don't remember any of this.
Well, you probably just blocked it out, because the whole thing was a mentally traumatic and an emotionally damaging experience.
I don't believe you. Did this really happen or what?
Sure, it went like this. Alas, poor
No,
Yorick.
no, we're not
I
for
knew
this.
him,
Put me
Horatio.
down immediately. Put me down. Oh!
Gosh, that thing just came right off there. Well, mates, sit back and enjoy this Treasure Hoard showcase all about my musicals and Broadway play VHS. Let's check it out. Yarr. It's the Treasure Hoard Showcase! Treasure Hoard Showcase! Treasure Hoard Showcase!
Treasure Hoard Showcase!
That's right, from Captain Adam's VHS pirate ship, it's the Treasure Hoard Showcase!
Treasure Hoard Showcase!
Treasure Hoard Showcase! Today's Treasure Hoard Showcase. Movies based on plays and Broadway musicals VHS. The theater, or as they say in the South, theater. I always loved it how they managed to pronounce every letter in that word. Yes, the theater, the original form of entertainment. Long before movies, and even sort of long before books, there existed the theater. And going to the theater to see a play was sort of like going to the movies. Except there were no milk duds, and long before milk duds, there were plays. The first known play was performed in 5th century BC, and was invented by the Greeks, who essentially invented, everything, I guess. And the theater and plays is certainly on that long list of kooky Greek inventions. So the theater and plays would go on to exist all throughout time. And the late 1400s AD would see the rise of some nobody. I don't know, you might have heard of him. William Shakespeare? Yes, William Shakespeare, the most famous playwright in all of history, who was pretty much the Orson Welles of his time, would go on to write solid gold when it came to plays. I mean, everything this dude wrote was a hit, and they're still performed today. And since plays are pretty much like movies anyway, it's only natural that there are film adaptations for plays, and Shakespeare's work is no exception. Yeah, there are tons of film adaptations of his work, one of the most famous being Romeo and Juliet from 1996. Oh, it's a modern take on a William Shakespeare classic, a stylistic thrill ride. Yeah, I hate this movie, and I always will. But lots of other people loved it because this was a smash hit at the box office. Yeah, more like smash shit! And I do not have this VHS, nor do I want it. But one of the more interesting modern adaptations of one of William Shakespeare's plays would be the film Scotland, Pennsylvania, which was released in 2001 and is a dark comedy adaptation of Macbeth. And this is certainly worth watching at least once. And if you're a Christopher Walken fan, and let's face it, who isn't, then this movie is for you. And no, I don't have the VHS for this, and this is actually pretty hard to track down nowadays. You see, this was released only as a Blockbuster exclusive, which also means they didn't make many of them, and the ones you do find today, chances are going to be one of these weird previously viewed things they put out that doesn't even have the original sleeve. So really, why even bother having this? Which is why I don't have it. And Scotland, Pennsylvania would go on to have a musical based on it. Oh God. Yes, in 2019, a full musical stage production was based on Scotland, Pennsylvania. So wait a minute. Scotland, Pennsylvania is a movie that's based on a play. Scotland, Pennsylvania, the musical, is a play based on a movie that's based on a play. I have no idea what's going on. And the Scotland, Pennsylvania VHS is even more interesting because it was released by the pretentious channel. I mean, the Sundance Channel. Yeah, it's one of them there independent films that liberal arts students can't wait to tell you that they've seen.
Oh my God, I went to go see it at this brew pub that used to be a grain mill. They even had free-range organic popcorn.
Yeah, Blockbuster Video had some kind of partnership with the Sundance Channel to where they co-released this. And this movie, though it is pretty good, was marketed to be adored by college students who majored in stuff like vegan square dancing. But anyways, yes, plays are natural film adaptations, and there are many of them. And the examples of this that I've shown thus far are movies that I don't have on VHS. And since this is a show meant to highlight the things I do have on VHS, well, I guess it would be a pretty good idea if I did that. So, yeah, let's get on with it. And one of the better examples I do have in my treasure hoard is the 1997 Warner Brothers home video distribution of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And this film is tremendous, basically just because of the cast. I mean, besides Jack Nicholson, you've also got Christopher Lloyd and Danny DeVito. Just based on the cast alone, I would go see this. This movie could be about anything. This movie could literally be about the history of mayonnaise, and I would still watch it. This movie was released in 1975 and is based on the 1962 novel by Ken Kesey? Kesey? Is that it? Ken Kesey? Whatever. So why am I talking about this, you might ask? Well, in 1963, this novel was adapted to a play, and this play would run continuously, becoming more and more popular, leading to the making of the film. So this movie is based on a play that's based on a novel. Boy, my head's going to explode. This is a VHS I'm very thrilled to have in my treasure hoard. Though the sleeve is kind of damaged, it's okay. And this is a quintessential Jack Nicholson movie because this is one of the movies that paved the way of his career. His career of being a stylish lunatic. So plays have been in existence for pretty much forever. And somewhere along the way, somebody said, hey, you know what would make this more interesting? If people sang for no reason. Giving way to the birth of musicals. Yes, musicals, the other form of stage production. And quite possibly one of the most obnoxious forms of entertainment. Yep, I hate them. And if it's not The Wizard of Oz or something with Muppets in it, I don't want any part of it. I am not a fan of musicals, and yet I have some in my treasure hoard. But why? Why do I have them if I hate them? Well, that is a great question, and we'll answer it when we come back. Don't you move a muscle, mateys. Captain Adam's Treasure Hoard Showcase will be right back. Hey there, folks, it's me, Little Vino. Did you fuck your car up again? Maybe it's overheating because you never flushed your radiator. Did you even know you're supposed to do that? Or maybe your transmission's fucked up because you didn't know your car was a stick shift and you drove with it in first gear for 10 goddamn miles. Or maybe you need some body work done because you fucked up your rear end backing out of a parking spot by smashing into some other car because you couldn't see because of all the goddamn stickers on your rear window. Bunch of stickers that say Save the Whales and all these avant-garde speed metal bands that nobody's heard of. Well, it's too bad you don't put as much effort into driving as you do letting the world know how unique and different you are. Well, whatever your stupid ass problem is, your car's fucked up and I'm sure it's your fault. But I ain't here to judge. I'm just here to fix your car and serve you a nice cheesesteak while you wait. So come on down to Little Vino's Automotive Repair and Cheesesteak Emporium. We do all kinds of automotive repair and got lots of cheesesteaks. There's no job too small and no moron too stupid. We got the best cheesesteaks in the country in several locations to serve you better. So come on down, let me fix your fucked up car and eat a nice cheesesteak. Just because you're a fucking moron doesn't mean your taste buds are. Little Vino's Automotive Repair
and Cheesesteak Emporium.
Attention, attention, stop what you're doing right now. If you've done anything in life, you might have been exposed to metagonic and you may be entitled to compensation. That's right, you. Yes, you. You may have been exposed to metagonic. If you have to ask what it is, you've probably been exposed to it. You're sick as shit, and you may be entitled to compensation. If you've done anything in life, you may have been exposed to metagonic. You. Yes, you. You watching this, you may have been exposed to metagonic and you may be entitled to compensation. Call the law offices of Dillon and Triceratops today. You may have been exposed to metagonic and you may be entitled to compensation. Call the law offices of Dillon and Triceratops today. That's 1-800-TRICERATOPS. That's 1-800-TRICERATOPS. You may have been exposed to metagonic and Dillon and Triceratops is here to help. Call today. New from Buco Toys, it's Fork Stewards. Now you can control the battle as King Prong defends his kingdom against the evil Spoon Goon.
Dinner time's over, your majesty.
No chance, Spoon Goon. Then suddenly, Spoon Goon calls in his henchman, Spatula Kong.
Ha ha ha! Your time is up, King Prong.
Oh no, not Spatula Kong. Ah!
No one can match his spatula.
King Prong regroups as Spoon Goon retreats to his castle.
Sorry, your highness. This party's by invite only.
That's what you think, Spoon Goon. It's time I crash this party.
Ah! We shall meet again, King Prong.
You control the battle with Fork Stewards.
Fork Stewards.
Fork Stewards. King Prong, Spoon Goon, and Spatula Kong, each sold separately. Fork Stewards by Buco Toys.
Fork Stewards.
We now return to Captain Adam's Treasure Hoard Showcase.
I'm telling you,
Quit.
you're doing it wrong. Stop
Quit
it.
squirming.
Stop it. Not that.
Oh,
Stop.
hey mates. Welcome back to the show. We hope you're enjoying today's Treasure Hoard Showcase. We sure are.
Somebody help me, please. He's a madman. Help me.
Quit it. While I try to fix Paul the Skull here, let's get back to the show.
Stop
Try to
it.
get this
You're
straight.
not helping. Stop.
Quit squirming.
Stop it.
I gotta.
Stop. Stop it.
Here, trying to get it.
Come on
It's-
now. Oh, what are you doing? Oh,
Anyways,
what are you doing?
let's get back to the show. Yar.
Help someone. Help me.
So, musicals are not my favorite thing, and movies based on musicals are even lower on my list. And though I have seen these, I'm certainly not going to watch them again, because I hate them! And as you can see, I do have a few in my treasure hoard, but why do I have them if I hate them? Well, I like to give you some kind of well thought out explanation about how it's good to be eclectic and try new things, yada yada yada, but really, the reason is these were $1 each. Yes, I found these in the wilds of the thrift stores for 25 cents a piece, and the price is right, and the day that I start worrying about 25 cents is the day I certainly stop posting videos. So not only were these so cheap, they were basically free, these are also quite different, and you do not see these every day. Yes, when you go into a thrift store, you usually find Titanic, Jurassic Park, Jerry Maguire, and Speed, not to mention countless copies of Sleepless in Seattle and Runaway Bride. So given the fact that you're usually up against some pretty commonly found VHS, part of the thrill of thrift store hunting is the different things you find. So finding stuff like my 1986 MCA home video distribution of Jesus Christ Superstar is pretty neat. Yes, this was a rare find and a surprise, and the minute you see that MCA home video logo, you know immediately that this is a pre-1990 release. And though I could give two shits about this movie, it is pretty neat to find this in a thrift store, and I'm pretty happy to have it. And what's interesting about this movie that's based on a Broadway musical is the fact that it didn't start life as a Broadway musical. It was supposed to, but it never got the financial backing to bring it into existence. So composer Andrew Lloyd Webber decided to go a different route. Instead of trying to secure funding for a stage production of Jesus Christ Superstar, Andrew Lloyd Webber decided just to make an album of the music. Yes, in 1970, he released the concept album Jesus Christ Superstar, and everyone deemed this a rock opera and the next big thing, and soon they were able to secure funding for a full Broadway production of Jesus Christ Superstar. It opened on Broadway in 1971, and the rest, they say, is history, which led to the film adaptation, which was released in 1973. And I guess you could say this is one of the only Easter movies. I don't know. I don't know where you're at on this movie. A lot of people don't like it. They view it as blasphemous. But to me, I don't think it's blasphemy. I just think it's fucking stupid. But regardless of my personal opinion, I'm still happy to have it in my treasure hoard because it was a quarter, it's an early release, and it's just something you don't see every day. And so we move on to another Andrew Lloyd Webber pile of shit that I have in my VHS treasure hoard with a year 2000 distribution of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Whoopty shit. And I got this because, well, again, it was a quarter and it stood out on the shelves. It had a nice little clamshell about it, and it's not a film adaptation, it's actually a stage production that was filmed. And this is of a 1999 on-stage, on-film rendition of this film. And this originally opened on Broadway in 1972. And what... Oh, you know what? I just don't give a shit. Yeah, I mean, I have the VHS. There it is. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about this. And then we have one that is an early release, and I say it's just an early release because it doesn't have the fucking date on it. But it is an early RCA Columbia TriStar home video release of Oliver. Or, I mean, there's an exclamation point, so it's Oliver! This film was released in 1968 and is based on the 1960 stage production, which is based on the Charles Dickens immortal classic, Oliver Twist. So once again, it's a movie that's based on something that's based on something else. And I have this VHS in my treasure hoard for several reasons. One being, let's try that again. One reason being, again, it was a quarter. Another reason is that it's an early release. Another reason is that it's an RCA Columbia TriStar home video. And I have already done a treasure hoard showcase all about my RCA Columbia TriStar home video collection, which is in the archives if you wanted to check that out. And in that episode, I explain that I just think these things are fucking neat. Look, as you can see here, the uniformity of the tape cases is just very intriguing. And the last reason I have this is because it's still sealed. It's a very rare thing to find such an old VHS that has never been opened. And last, and certainly least, we have a 1984 CBS Fox home video distribution of Scrooge. And this film is a musical adaptation of another Charles Dickens immortal classic, A Christmas Carol. And this was released in 1970. And another work of Charles Dickens that someone decided that it would be a good idea to turn into a musical. Why though? All of Charles Dickens' work takes place in England in the 1800s, when everything was terrible. And usually his stories have a happy ending, but the bulk of them are horror stories. So making them into musicals with a bunch of happy songs is strange to me. But they did. And this musical is interesting because it was actually a stupid-ass movie before it was a stupid-ass stage production. Yes, this was eventually a musical stage production that opened in 1992. So this is the opposite of all the other movies I've featured today, but it does not mean I hate it any less. Yeah, A Christmas Carol is one of my favorite stories, and to make a stupid-ass musical about it is a little insulting. And I have this vile mockery in my VHS collection because, well, again, it was only a quarter, and I'm sure you're sensing a theme here. And also, this is a very early release, and a CBS Fox home video release at that. And much like the RCA Columbia TriStar home videos, the uniformity of the packaging is everything. Yes, CBS Fox home video wanted to go with the uniform tape sleeve thing as well, making it a recognizable part of your video library. So I got this for the same reason I got Silver Streak, The Poseidon Adventure, and The Day the Earth Stood Still, because the packaging was uniform and I really dug it. Dog it. Yeah, presentation is everything, and much like the RCA Columbia TriStar home videos, I found myself buying CBS Fox Home videos just because I wanted them all. So that is a major reason why I have this piece of shit. So I have all of these in my treasure hoard because they were very cheap and rather unique. And just because I hate musicals does not mean I don't recognize the talent it takes to make one. Yeah, just because I don't like something doesn't mean I don't respect it. They're two different things sometimes, and this is one of those times. And if you yourself like these movies or musicals in general, then I'm sure you're not too pleased with this show. But I certainly appreciate you watching anyway, and be sure to hit subscribe and share this shit, and take care out there, and I'll see you next time, only on Captain Adam's VHS pirate ship. Bye-bye for now.